thing that sometimes you can start to see things before they happen, and so many people don't actually believe you. Like I'm thinking about all the accidents that are actually happening here in South Africa. To be honest with you, last year I saw these accidents happening. I might have actually said something on social media, at some point in time to literally talk about them that they will happen, but in a sense that saying them here when I have to actually express them is to try to prevent them. When something is so big that it will actually affect so many people at large, for me, I see it as an access to actually say something for people to have an alert that something bad might actually happen. And you'll notice that all of these accidents, well, almost all of these accidents, if it's not happening on the 11th, it's happening on the 29th. The accidents that keep on happening, they're engaging with the emotional energy, which has a way to affect people. I usually tell people about the 29th. If you feel a certain way on the 29th, and there's this energy that you're actually feeling that actually makes you uncomfortable, because most of the time on the 11th, 29th, any number that actually accumulates to a number 11, when you calculate and add, it adds up to 11. It is bound to be an emotional day. It can be anything. It can be in an accident that you be part of or one of a relationship that you're in, something bad that really happened. It actually has a way to affect you. Then on that day, you're going to be emotional the whole entire day. I'm telling you. It happens all the time. And when I used to tell people about these things, it was to actually alert them that you have to be conscious on those days, how you can be able to control your emotions. If you're feeling a type of way, how you can actually try to ground yourself. Go outside, walk with your bare feet. Try anything that actually makes you calm down no matter what happens, because you can actually be easily tested. Somebody would actually come at you with that emotional way to try to make you think different things, to the point that if you're not actually balanced at that time, anything can actually happen. You might actually lose it because you're bound to become emotional. The 11th day does that all the time. So you'll notice that all the accidents that actually keep on happening, the 29th, the 11th, like the accident that actually happened in Durban, if it wasn't 11 people passing on that day, it is actually symbolic to the 29th, that on the 29th, 2 plus 9 is 11, and on that day, 11 people actually died. It is an emotional number whereby now people or the families of the ones that have actually passed away are starting to actually become emotional. I've actually been saying this on social media, trying to actually give people heads up that on this day, you have to actually be settled. Not to say that you shouldn't actually go out there and try to have fun, no, but have to be settled. Listen to your emotions, listen to what's happening on that day. Whatever that actually happens, don't actually give in. If you feel that if I actually go outside today, something bad might actually happen, it's either you try to change the mentality of what you're thinking at that time to actually make it positive, but in a sense that if the feeling is so strong enough, don't actually go out there, because something might actually bound to. It happens all the time. You'll have to be highly conscious of the day, the 11th and the 29th on the calendar. If you're actually going out, try to actually be conscious. Try to be alert. Try to read through the pattern of what's actually happening emotionally, physically, to everybody that you're actually engaging with at that time. You might actually be in a transport or a car, or a driver that's actually driving reckless. That's when now you know that, listen, I can't be a part of this energy right now. Driver, please stop the taxi. I'm thinking that I will actually walk or take a different route for me to actually be to that or go to that destination. You just have to be conscious, but unfortunately, not everybody will have time for this. But for those who are able to listen, to see when somebody's actually talking about these things, it actually makes it easy for you now to see and plan ahead what's to come, or how to prevent that, or not to actually engage yourself in any activity that it can actually put you in harm's way. So this is what's happening. I saw these accidents. I don't want to lie. I did see these accidents. I did see these accidents. And at some point in time, I know that I've actually might have said something. People might have actually listened. It's really not easy at times when you have to actually tell people what's to come, because some people might actually think that you're trying to manifest that, so that when it actually happens, you actually get the hype from it. When you get the hype from it, you start to actually get a huge following from it. So many people don't actually really get it. But these are the things which, when you start to feel and see them, they also do affect you before you can actually see them at hand happening. The only way, when you try to talk about them and speak out loud out there, you're trying to prevent them from happening. It's not actually easy because not everybody in this whole entire world can actually be able to listen to you, to what is it that you're saying at that time. It won't actually have time to reach out to so many people in a short span of time. There was a time whereby I talked about the fact that there will be children that will actually be missing in the water, and that actually happened. Only to realize this, that it actually happened in the community where I'm in right now. I spoke about it, I actually posted about it on Twitter, and after a day or two, it happened that there were children that actually drowned, but some children actually survived. And when I was speaking about this, I was actually letting people know, or families, parents in particular, that you have to be very careful of your children on this particular week. I'm actually seeing children that are actually going to be drowned in the waters, and someone actually wouldn't have a chance to actually survive and come back. But the hopes of being saying this was to actually alert parents to make a prayer. What is it that you believe in, that if I speak life into it, I know that my children will actually be protected? So it's never really easy, but you have to pay homage to specific dates. 1 1 is very emotional. I don't want to lie. I'm a life part 11, I know it. Every time it is on the 29th, I've actually learned to overcome that energy, that it doesn't actually have a way to affect me in that way. So what I do is being conscious, knowing very well that I have aligned my energy to that level, that if anything happens, I know that I'm actually up for it. It's not going to actually become very negative to a point whereby it does actually affect me. So I'm always step ahead when it comes to the 11th, the 29th, because instantly, it depends on how I wake up. Instantly, I become emotional, I'm telling you. But because now I'm able to learn through it and see how this can actually positively affect me or negatively affect me, I do that. Sometimes it's not to say that the 29th or the 11th is going to be a negative day for you or for so many people in this world, but something negative is bound to happen. It happens all the time because so many people in this world, they're not entirely conscious of what's really happening, and that's okay. It's not a way that people need to be forced in order for them to actually be conscious. It's something which, when time goes on, having to come across this video or anybody that actually talks about the emotional days that are actually bound to happen to affect people, they start to learn from it. But in general, on the 29th, the 11th, even though negative things are bound to happen, most of the time it actually becomes an enlightenment. That is why when something big emotional that actually happens, people are now able to read through it, what's really going on. Because to them, even though to others is actually affecting them in a negative way, to other people it becomes an enlightenment. That on this specific day, this is what usually happens. And people now grow conscious to say that I'm never going to be able to engage with such activities that can actually put my life in harm's way on this specific date. Each and every date and number has a specific energy that is a way to affect people positively and negatively, in a sense that it can also bring about enlightenment spiritually. So, for you to now preserve and observe things in a different way, for you to actually give yourself a chance to learn what is to happen and what usually happens when this energy actually comes in contact with so many people in this world. So, I'm just saying this, that every day is not just the 29th or the 11th. It's just more effective because it is a very powerful energy that can actually break you or build you up, depending on how you react to it or how it has actually affected you on that level. But each and every date has a way to affect people positively and badly. I'm just saying it in a way that for the people, they're going through this. I mean, like, there's a lot of accidents that actually happen in a short span of time. Ever since in January here in South Africa, it's really terrible. And the young ones are the ones that are actually getting affected by it the most. And it's really, really crazy because I saw it all happen, like literally. I saw it all happen. It was like 2025, early in May, I think it's June, July, around those times. And it actually kept on happening all the time. But I had a way to actually speak about these things on social media to try to alert people how it is important for one to actually be careful or be mindful of what actually really happens on the 29th and the 11th. Any number that actually accumulates to 11 on a date, which when you calculate and you subject to a level of letting it be two single numbers, it is an emotional day for you. And that's how so many people feel like. Just that so many people don't actually pay attention to what they feel like inside of them at that time. But from today, you have to learn the 29th and the 11th. Also, on the 7th, it does actually have that effect. But most probably, I know that so many people on the 29th, they start to feel emotional, especially in your relationship, family members. Anything is bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I was watching Big Brother on the 29th, and I knew what was going to happen. So many people became emotional for no reason. It was just an emotional day, and it hit them so hard that they even lost the wager. Everybody started to be emotional. Why? Because it was on the 29th. Every time when it is on the 29th on the calendar, people become emotional. People are thinking so much. People are so stressful. People are thinking about things that might actually happen days or few months back. It actually comes and bottles into one essence that has a way to affect you. Because why? Some people don't actually have time to better align themselves with the frequency so that whatever that is that has to happen in a negative way doesn't actually affect them or catch upon them in that way. If there are things which you've never really paid attention at that time, pay homage to try to actually align them. They have a way to come back on the 11th, on each and every month, or the 29th, and it has a way to affect you. If you told yourself that I'm not actually going to deal with this, it's going to come back in an emotional way, or anything that actually affects you to a point that actually pushes you or forces you to remind yourself in a bad experience that you might have actually once had that is actually emotional. It has a way to actually adapt itself, that it actually repeats itself on the scene at that time on that date. And if you've never really handled it or tried to actually look into it or try to actually align from it, it has a way to come back and affect you the same way. It's an energy that you can't actually really run away from it. But when you are now conscious about it, you're learning that on the 29th this happens. I just have to be awakened, be aligned. It can actually work out positively for you. It turns out to become an emotional way for you now to try to awaken through that energy. Instead of you going through an emotions which has a way to affect you, take your attention out of things which you know that I need to be careful. For example, let's say like you're driving a car on the 29th. You're just stressing, thinking so much, you're not actually seeing the way you have to actually drive through in a safety. You are bound to actually fall into an accident. And at this time, I wouldn't say that it's actually anybody else's fault on that large capacity, but as a personal being or person, you just need to be alert, just have to be aware, be conscious what you're feeling at that time, what actually makes you feel, and try to, discern information within. If you're feeling that there's anxiety and all of that, you're driving, just park your car aside, put it away. If you feel like you're not actually prone to driving at that time, call an Uber. Try to get somebody else that has a fresh mind at that time, emotionally balanced, that it can actually drive you if it has to go to that point. But if you try to force it, negative things are bound to happen. And the bad side about this is that now you've actually created a karma, not for yourself, for so many people out there, which at a later stage you're going to have to come back and pay for it. Yes, some people don't actually believe this. It does actually happen, but it does. I mean, like you step on somebody else by mistake when you know that you were supposed to be mindful of what you're actually thinking about at that time, having to actually come across that person. You've now created a karma. That is why most of the time people like me, like I don't really like going out, because I don't want to actually encounter myself in a position whereby somebody actually step on my foot and I easily get angry. Not that I would, I'm just making an example because I don't actually get angry like that. My heart is so big. So you try to actually go out and you're avoiding so many negative things, and somebody that is actually on that mindset that's actually not being mindful, they start to step on you and they find you at a position whereby you're not actually going to have an understanding energy or try to understand why they actually did that. You just literally become pissed off and something happens and the small thing turns out to be a big thing, and this actually affects both of you. And if anybody around is also involved, now you've actually created a karma between you and this person and anybody else that is actually around at that time. Now imagine if you have to actually come across the road now whereby you have to create or make an accident because of what is it that you were thinking, you're not actually balanced. What's going to happen? See, now you've actually created a karma for so many people, which at a later stage, not in this lifetime, in the next lifetime, you're going to actually have to be paying for that. So I'm just saying to people, be mindful, the 29th and the 11th. When you wake up, listen to your emotions, listen to how you feel, do some breathing exercise, do some meditation, start to manifest positivity. If you're having negative thoughts, emotions, try to balance that and rectify it by having this thing inside that I want to actually be balanced. It doesn't actually take a lot to do it. You just take off your shoes, walk with your bare feet, and feel that actually you're actually getting balance inside, and then that's enough. Be mindful of those dates. Be mindful of those dates. Not so many people are not going to actually be able to listen to what I'm saying to see, because so many people are not actually on lives, or when it comes to YouTube, or having to stream, or having to watch people stream, or having to actually engage with people that are actually spiritual, that are able to guide people through a way how they can actually be able to see things differently on these specific days, on how they can actually be able to overcome whatever negativity that actually wants to affect them at that time. Not everybody will actually be connected to that, to this, but you're lucky if you're the one that's actually listening. Now you're going to actually pay homage to the deity. You are going to be more mindful, and perhaps you're also going to tell other people and just give them a way how they can actually be able to, live their lives in a sense that they can be able to balance themselves, not to actually be affected by these energies. It's really quite sad, but it's what actually happens, man. Even if you go online right now and see that most of the time the most bad experience, accidents, or anything that can actually be emotional, it is usually happening on the 29th or the 11th. I'm telling you, go online now and search. You'll find out that this is actually what's happening. It happens all the time. But with you who's actually listening to this, try to be mindful when it comes to these dates, right? Don't take them for granted. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't take them for granted. Any aspect of what you're feeling inside, pay homage to it. Try not to say that there's something you need to fix. You don't actually have to fix anything. You just be mindful. Like, it's easy. Be mindful. What's happening? What's going on inside of me? Now, you put yourself in a position whereby you are like a student, and the other side of you that is actually able to experience what's happening and see through it, you're like a teacher. Now, that is your subconscious mind as a student. No, as a student, you being a teacher, it is your subconscious mind. And as a student, you are the one that's actually being conscious of what's happening. And you want to learn from your teacher, which is your subconscious mind, to actually look inside what's really happening at that time. It's easy. It's easy. Do not avoid any emotional bad side of the things that actually happen in your life, past, especially your childhood. Try to rectify it, because it's bound to happen that it actually comes back on the 29th and the 11th. And this is actually trying to teach you something about life. You might actually think that it's actually something that is now affecting me. It is affecting you because you actually have been ignorant about it. But now you're at a position whereby now you're actually getting to learn something out of it. I'm telling you, you're learning something. So allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to teach within. Be the mirror of your reflection. This is you, your subconscious mind, your teacher. Allow your teacher to teach you. And this is your consciousness, you having to be conscious of what actually happened in your past life, emotional side. If you're able to scan through that, I'm telling you, you'll actually be able to align yourself to a position whereby you know that these energies are not actually going to affect me. Not to say that you're trying to actually prevent things from happening, but having an awareness, it teaches you now how to be able to see through whatever that is that's actually happening at that time, to overcome the bad experience that it actually doesn't have power over you or weight over you. See, now you've learned something. So you have to be mindful of this. Teach and tell other people about these dates, the 11th and the 29th. It has a positive side. Like I'm saying this, that most of the time for a lot of you, the 29th and the 11th number would actually be an enlightenment to so many of you. If you're able to see a mistake that was actually done on the specific date, when you know and can attest that the reason why this actually happened is because he or she was not mindful of their emotions. Now you've learned. If somebody pisses you to that level, you're able to control yourself, that being in this way, preventing this would actually not lead to a major big accident that will actually affect so many people at large. It becomes an enlightenment to you who's witnessing, that is able to learn and listen. The reflection that's right in front of you becomes your teacher, which is your subconscious mind. Your consciousness now is able to actually alert and read from that. But on the other side, the person that actually went through the bad experience, they're going through it in a negative way, which is the emotional number at that time. They were so emotional that they were not actually entirely balanced or grounded enough to be able to see through the accident or something to prevent it from actually happening. You see, life is all about learning. I'm telling you, if you can actually pay much attention to what's happening all the time, you're gonna be a master at this. You're going to be a master, not to take things literal, but this is gonna make you to become a master and be able to see through it how life has projected its own reality to you. What is it that you're learning from it? There has to be something that you learn from it. So yeah, I just wanted to say this. Love and Cosmic Light. I really appreciate those who've actually joined. So many people that actually joined this live today. I'm so happy always, all the time. But the most important thing is getting the message out there. Make sure that you share this video to so many people that can actually be able to learn and listen and grow from it. But I decree and declare that all the negative accidents that keep on happening to just stop. I decree and declare for this to happen right now. All of these accidents that are happening to be prevented, to be seen before they happen. I decree and declare that those who will be part of those transport or taxis, when they enter a taxi, they see this from happening and do something about it to prevent it. I decree and declare for this to happen. No accident will happen again. This is really affecting so many people, and we need the energy of protection over the whole entire world right now. Not in South Africa, but the whole entire world at large. Love and Cosmic Light. My name is Ramo Kizlek, the living conscious sun. I thank you. Leave your, what do I say? Love yourself to the heart. Always. Love and Cosmic Light. Thank you.